Listen, for most of my life, I've been an average man. It's not like me not wanting to be an average man is just some new invention or some new idea that I've created. It's been something that I've experienced for a long time, okay? Going back to, when I was a kid, going to primary school to high school. In fact, in high school, I would even say I was below average. So this is not some new idea that I'm coming with right now. But to be in the adult world, okay, the high school of adulthood, is just really demoralizing being an average male. I'm just gonna be honest with you. To come up here and be like, yo, listen, I wouldn't mind being an average man. I would be lying to say that I would be okay with that. I would be lying. For a very long time, I've always wanted to be an overachiever. And I've tried my best to do that, but I just feel like, there were limiting factors holding me back. Or it could be me, myself, holding myself back 100%. There's a lot of that also as well. I've always tried not to be an average person. And to come to just deal with the fact, that, if you're average, you realize that your genetics, if they aren't good, you're going to be dealing with them more, okay? Because when you have money and when you're not average and when you have some sort of status, that protects you. That gives you at least a cushion on life. You now have the life of, some Chad Light who is, let's say, a 7 in Money Max and status. Okay, and even if you're like an 8 as a sub 5, that's how you feel. That's your life experience, in my own opinion. So what I really want is just to be fulfilled and to be happy. And I think I'm happy already. Like I'm a 6, I would say, on an average scale. And most people are like 5s, 4s, and I'm a 6. That's okay. Okay, so for me, the only thing that's like the only problem that I have right now is just my level where I am in society. That's what I'm happy about. Okay, listen. Yesterday I went out to work out. Okay, I was at the gym. Some girl who I used to like when I was younger. Okay, I'll tell you this one story quickly now. Okay, when I was younger, I went to her house. She lived in a complex. She said I wanted to go chill with her, so she opened the gate for me. The gated community. Told the security guard to open the gate for me. Whatever. Led me to the pool section, and we were chilling there. And while we were chilling there, dude, I thought like you wanted to do something, get action with me, get active. But in fact, we spent most of the time speaking about all the other guys she'd be fucking on the side, okay? Now, this is a girl who's at least like she's a 7, okay? She's kind of look smashed now. When I saw her earlier, when I went to the gym, she's more hovering around a high tier normie, okay? Back when she was younger, she actually used to be a 5, and then she improved. Then she became a low tier Becky, and now she's a high tier Becky. But anyways, as I'm walking towards her, I see her crossing, okay? I used to know her from my childhood. I see her crossing where I'm walking towards, and then I say hi. She says hi. Then I think to myself, okay, let me just give this girl a hug, a side hug. Nothing crazy. I don't even want this girl, okay? Dude, instead of giving me a hug, she fucking first bumps my hand because I'm doing this. I've got my hand out, so she thinks I'm trying to go for a fist bump, and she knows I wasn't trying to go for that. But I ignore that and I still go for the side hug anyways. And then when I go for it, she literally ducks, bro. She ducks and she goes under, and she almost like touches me like I'm a cockroach or something. You know what I'm saying? Like and then she leaves afterwards. Like I touched her. I'm like, what the fuck? And what the hell is that? Dude, it rewired how I thought about myself for that specific moment. And any man who says that a situation like that it's not going to affect him is lying. Okay, listen, we get most of our confidence from the validation that we get in reality. For me, doing that, the reason I did that is because for most of the time, if I did that with most girls, the girls wouldn't mind. Okay, they would be like, okay, no, it's fine, whatever. So I built that confidence over time to be like, yeah, I'm that nigga. So I walked up to her thinking that I'm that nigga, but she didn't see that. And then in my mind, I was just thinking to myself, she's gonna regret that. Because, dude, a lot of my life, in a lot of your life as well, if you've been a sub 5 for a long time, you have certain people you want to get back at. You have, you see life as a war. There are certain things that have hindered you from getting the things you want. You feel like something's been taken away from you. You feel like you're not living life on premium life. There are certain things, and for me, that's one of them. It's whatever, dude. It's whatever. She can do her, but it does lower down my confidence, a bit. Because next time I'm gonna start second guessing whether I should go for a hug to the next goal. You understand what I'm trying to say? And it makes me wonder, I'm like, what the hell? What does this girl, think of me to even like fucking do something like that? I mean, we were almost at, I would say we're almost at the same level, bro. Like, what does she mean? You know what I'm saying? But it's fine. But this is why I don't want to be an average man, because I do know that if I had an M3 at the back, if I had an M3, I wouldn't care that she did that to me. But because I have nothing, then I care more. You see what I'm saying? So genetics, they hurt more when you're not living up to your fullest standard. That's one of the reasons why I'm really scared of being average, because I feel it right now. I would say like right now I'm average to below average, okay? And there's been times where I have been, just climbing up that hill and be looking like I'm gonna be an above average male, and then I come down again. I'm like, what the fuck? What did I do? You know what I'm saying? So it is extremely difficult to live your life as an average male when you have low genetics, because you don't actually live as an average man. You live as a below average man because your money isn't enough for people to respect you. Because when you have high amounts of money, when you have a lot of money and you live a high status life and a high echelon life, you people respect you. They don't do the shit. Dude, they don't treat you like shit. Okay? People don't treat you like shit. And the thing is, we are humans. The number one need for a human is love. I tell you right now, that's the number one need. Every human needs love. You can't, exist without love. Most people who live without love, when what happens, they kill themselves. Because we're wired to be social animals. So the one thing that we all want is to be seen. A lot of people nowadays be on social media. People want to be seen, bro. When someone on social media gets they comment, gets like a lot of likes, they go crazy. Oh, wow, my comment got a lot of likes. It's because people want to be seen in life, okay? And we do all these things in life, and you'd be so surprised at the amount of craziness that people will do just to be seen, just to be recognized, okay? Just so people see them in a great light. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? And to live your life now as a sub 5 when you don't have any of these things, you're living on, not even on life premium. What are you living on, bro? You're living backwards. You're living back in time, bro. So don't get angry at me when I say that when I say to you guys that I'm scared of being an average male. It scares the fuck out of me. It really does. Okay? Listen, some great males have lived as average males, like Arthur Schopenhauer, the philosopher. I like his work. He basically lived most of his life as an average person. And one of the best quotes about him that I really like is when he says, the greatest gift I'll give my offspring is the fact that they were never alive. And that's the same mentality that I have when I think about having children. Okay? And he was an average male. He had walks with his dogs, drank water on a daily basis, went walks, lived a healthy life, but he wasn't really into getting goals or anything like that. I think he was just wired differently inherently. But essentially, yeah, dude, I'm super scared, dude. I don't want to touch it. And I'm willing to do anything, bro. I try every single day. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure you understand this, bro. But it's like, yeah, no matter what you do, you have to just not give up, bro. I mean, look at Never Give Up. The guy who got a goal. I mean, just get famous, bro. The guy who got basically a Becky. I'll label her a mid-tier Becky. The guy who was ugly, I'm ugly. That video, remember that video went viral? What is it titled? It says, Being Ugly, My Experience. I think that's what it's titled. And I remember seeing that video as a young kid. And I thought like I was an ugly kid. I used to get made fun of, this and this. I had anxiety when I walked out to people. My heart would beat faster because I preempted that they would start talking shit about me, because that's what I was used to. Okay? So when I watched that video, I fucking related with him. I've watched that video probably 8 times now, because everything he's talking about I relate to. How many sub 5 relate to that video, bro? Okay? And he's an average male, and he's lucky he got famous. Okay? So it's like, get famous now, then that's what happens. What happens? You need to get exposure. Could you say that exposure of him walking, like, basically doing a YouTube video and going viral is similar to approaching 500 women in your lifetime and then eventually getting lucky? I think, can we break it down, and is it equal to that? Is it equivalent to approaching? Okay, how much is getting 24 million views on your video equivalent to when you're doing PUA? Okay, and she doesn't even live. So he used social media because he's Geomax basically. She doesn't even live in where he stays. I think he stays in Norway or something. She doesn't even live there. So he kind of geomaxed at the same time, you know, kind of like status matched at the same time, and then he was able to get the goal off of one video. Lucky him. He got lucky. But he still has to deal with, you know, being an average male, essentially. Because I think he lives on government funding, essentially. Anyways, that's my video for today. Hope you guys liked it. It's Silver Black, and I'm out.